cybercriminals issue a threat to disclose information following their intrusion into the University of Pennsylvania's systems, which they used to distribute bulk emails. Russian President Putin instructs the creation of a strategic plan for the country's rare earth resources, with a focus on establishing connections with China and North Korea. China achieves a significant milestone in energy self-reliance by producing uranium from thorium.
Japanese studios like Square Enix and Bandai have urged OpenAI to cease using their content without authorization, subtly suggesting potential legal action if this demand is not met. Spotify faces a lawsuit over allegedly fraudulent Drake streams amounting to billions. Meta claims that pirated adult film downloads were intended for personal use, not for training AI models.
French legislators advance legislation to tax major American technology companies despite significant opposition. Japanese studios such as Square Enix and Bandai urge OpenAI to cease using their content without authorization, subtly suggesting potential legal action if compliance is not achieved. Universal Music Group and the AI music company Udio resolved their lawsuit and unveil a new music platform.
NVIDIA, a manufacturer of AI chips, has become the first company to reach a valuation of $5 trillion. Apple is set to begin its 50th anniversary celebrations with an expected revenue of nearly $140 billion for the quarter. The Wall Street Journal questions whether OpenAI is growing too large to fail, while Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, expresses the company's ambition to achieve an annual infrastructure expenditure of $1 trillion. According to Reuters, OpenAI is preparing the foundation for a massive initial public offering, potentially valuing the company at up to $1 trillion.
You are obligated to undergo scanning by ICE's facial recognition application, according to a DHS document. In the United States, federal prosecutors are examining BLM leaders for the purported improper use of donations exceeding $90 million. NPR reports that Trump advocates for the termination of medical care for transgender youth across the nation.
A mathematical proof disproves the theory that the universe operates as a computer simulation. RFK Jr. claims there is no conclusive evidence linking Tylenol directly to autism. China's new influencer law mandates that only individuals with degrees are permitted to engage in discussions on professional subjects. A confidential U.S. report uncovers a backlog of hundreds of potential Israeli human rights violations, while the former chief legal officer of the Israeli military has been detained for leaking a video purportedly depicting abuse of a Palestinian detainee. An investigation has disclosed that Israel pressured Google and Amazon to employ a secret code to circumvent legal responsibilities. Furthermore, the U.S. is pursuing United Nations approval for a Gaza security force with an extensive 2-year mandate. Australia is providing complementary solar energy to households as part of its green energy initiative, ensuring that Australians receive a minimum of 3 hours daily of free solar power, regardless of whether they have installed solar panels. Exxon has filed a lawsuit against California concerning climate regulations, claiming that these laws infringe upon free speech rights. Bill Gates has moderated his stance on the climate disaster issue, indicating that a change in strategy is necessary. Interview.
The co-CEO of Waymo believes that society will eventually accept fatalities resulting from autonomous vehicles like robotaxis. According to the chief of AI at Microsoft, consciousness is an attribute exclusive to biological entities. Bloomberg provides commentary on China's aggressive approach to animal testing as a strategy to dominate the global biotechnology competition.
In the United States, senators have introduced legislation aimed at prohibiting AI chatbot companions for individuals under the age of 18. Character.ai has decided to prevent children under 18 from accessing its chatbot services. OpenAI reports that more than 1 million individuals weekly discuss suicide with ChatGPT.
Harvard acknowledges it has awarded an excessive number of grades to its students. J.D. Vance stands by his statement expressing a desire for his wife Usha to convert to Christianity, following previous outrage in India over his wish for his Hindu wife to become a Christian. China's President Xi Jinping humorously refers to a backdoor when presenting South Korea's President Lee with Xiaomi phones. South Korea's President Yoon allegedly intended to apprehend and eliminate his political adversaries, according to court reports. Bloomberg states that Italian Prime Minister Meloni is considering revising the country's voting regulations to support her re-election. Tanzanian President Hassan has been declared the victor of a contested election, securing 98% of the votes.
Trump imposes an annual cap of 7,500 refugees for entry into the U.S., primarily comprising white South Africans. At a Turning Point event, J.D. Vance advocates for a decrease in legal immigration. Wired reports that ICE plans to establish a covert deportation network in Texas. A U.S. judge halts Trump's directive mandating proof of citizenship for voting.
J.P. Morgan reportedly informed the U.S. about financial transfers by Epstein that included Wall Street figures. Trump announced his intention to participate in Netanyahu's corruption trial to assist him. The U.S. is pursuing a ceasefire in Sudan amid the International Criminal Court's investigation into potential war crimes in El Fasher. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin's summit in Budapest has been cancelled due to a memo from Moscow. Trump has ordered the resumption of nuclear weapons testing for the first time in over 3 decades, and according to Reuters, Russia deployed a missile in Ukraine that prompted Trump to withdraw from a nuclear treaty, as reported by Kyiv. The Atlantic reports that senior Trump officials are relocating to military bases. The Trump administration is reportedly planning a new mission in Mexico targeting cartels, according to current and former U.S. officials, as Trump prepares U.S. troops for a potential ground invasion in Mexico to combat drug cartels. Additionally, the Wall Street Journal reports that the U.S. is considering strikes on Venezuelan military targets involved in drug trafficking, although Trump has stated he is not contemplating strikes within Venezuela. Trump has also mentioned that while a war with Venezuela is unlikely, he believes Maduro's time is nearing an end.
Jihadi fighters linked to al-Qaeda advance towards Mali's capital amid escalating instability in the Sahel region. Former President Trump issues a warning of potential U.S. military intervention in Nigeria due to the treatment of Christians, stating he might enter Nigeria with force if the violence against Christians continues. In response, Nigeria asserts that any U.S. assistance against Islamist insurgents must honor its sovereignty and declines the U.S. military threat concerning the reported killings of Christians. Dick Cheney, the former U.S. vice president and a key figure in the planning of the Iraq War, passes away at the age of 84.
The White House has excluded the Atlantic from consideration for oil leases following political criticism. The United States is accused of intimidating EU diplomats in its efforts to eliminate green shipping regulations. Universal Music Group and AI music company Udio resolve their legal dispute and unveil a new music platform. NVIDIA and Oracle are set to construct the U.S. Department of Energy's most extensive AI supercomputer aimed at advancing scientific research. Kodak has discreetly resumed the direct sale of Kodak Gold and Ultramax film.
Stay informed about the latest developments in cryptocurrency, politics, technology, and beyond with News Sir Scrawler's edition covering the period from August 18, 2025, to August 25, 2025.